another amazing session of Hustles ZETU. Tonight we shall be discussing how you transition from employment into entrepreneurship. And I'm with a financial consultant, the CEO of Gold Plus Advisory. We are going to be having another conversation with him tonight, and I hope that you are able to pick something from some of these conversations that we bring to you. We are at the Vicmark Hotel right in the heart of Nakuru City. Vicmark offers you great accommodation facilities, amazing spacious conference facilities, a restaurant, and a rooftop lounge for you to be able to relax whenever you're in the city and you need a place to just relax, unplug, and get to play. So karibu sana, Mr. Mutonyi, and please let us know what you do, and now we can begin our discussion.
Thank you, Eunice. So my name is Francis Mutonyi, as you have said. I am a financial consultant.
Okay.
I support businesses to put their house in order, matters tax, finances, and also business trainings. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So if a business want maybe their staff trained, we do train them. If they have any tax issues or they would want to understand tax matters well, or even financial analysis to see the health of the company.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is what I do.
You do.
Yeah.
You do. Wow. It is always very insightful and very informative whenever we have these conversations, especially for people like me who is an aspiring entrepreneur in the business community. So what is your background and academically and professionally?
So my background is in banking. So academically, first of all, is I'm a certified public accountant. Okay. And then I've done a finance degree. Okay. And I've also worked in the bank for more than 10 years. So that is my background. So I am in the finance world mostly.
All right.
So I was employed in the bank, and in the banking industry, I was doing a business consultant. That is training MSMEs and SMEs and also advising them.
Right.
Yeah, so that I did for a very long time, supporting MSMEs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Within Nakuru, Nairobi?
Yeah. So I've worked in different, I have actually worked in very many counties in this Kenya, because the work that we are doing entails supporting MSMEs or SMEs wherever they are.
Okay.
And some of them were programs that and programs are run in different counties. Yeah, so you might find a program is being implemented in Kisii, another program is being implemented in Tharaka Nithi. So you have to go where the program is, supporting maybe farmers to do agribusiness, or supporting farmers maybe to do livestock farming in as a business. So it depends. So we have traveled.
You've interacted with very many Kenyan communities.
I've interacted with very many business communities, and the way they earn their income or the way they do their businesses. That is across Kenya. And you realize, once you travel, you realize people do things differently, as pertains to business, and also now supporting them, So and it was quite insightful, learning a lot from them, because in the nature of the business that you are doing, you not only teach, but you also learn a lot. It is a two-way traffic.
So you've mentioned something very interesting, that in your work environment, you traveled and mingled with different Kenyan communities. How would you, I don't know that you went to the Maasai land where we know most of them are pastoralists. How do you think they are different from, say, the Kikuyu community in terms of business?
Good. So I have ever trained in Narok, specifically. And as you know, the Maasai community, they do a lot of livestock farming.
True.
So their main income, or one of their main sources of income is livestock, which maybe as a person maybe from Central Province, you might not think it's a very big industry, like it earns a lot of money, but it's a very big business, and it's a very big industry, because let's say, for example, a Maasai or a Maasai with a herd of 300 sheep. That is, if you give that 5,000 per sheep, that is a person working with 1.5 million
on the road.
On the road,
Just like that.
Just like that, So if you add maybe a couple of cows, maybe 20, 30, you might realize that net worth of that person is more than 5 million.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So now understanding that, you see the way they get their incomes. Yeah. And they're very successful pastoralists. Very successful pastoralists. People with herds of more than 1,000. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And the way they derive their income, the business model they use. So you'll see a person, they have employed people who are herding for them, herdsmen. Yeah, so not necessarily even them doing the business. Yeah, yeah. So they have employed maybe 1 or 2 young men who go around herding the animals, and then they supervise them, and then after some time they sell the animals. And you can imagine, like sheep, they multiply very fast.
Yeah.
Within like an year, they have maybe multiplied by 2 or 3. Yeah, so it's a business model. So, and when you come to central Kenya, let's say for example, because of the nature of the land ownership, they are very small. It has been subdivided very much. You realize that now they have ventured into other business forms of business. So like trading. So that is why you see a lot of central people, they are into trading, like buying and selling. Yeah, because the land is so much subdivided. Yeah. So there are different ways in which people earn income, and what you realize as you go along is that there are models that can be operated in a certain area that will be very successful.
The vast empty land.
There is a lot of vast land. But that doesn't mean they also do farming, like with wheat. Like
meaning now you're likely to find a Kikuyu or another community in Narok who has set up like a hardware too. That is actually that's what we see. And I think that these are some of the opportunities now. This other trading commodity like hardware and miti na nini, you find them now migrating or getting into places kama Narok, mahali hakuna watu wanafikiria akanuza simiti.
So what happens is so like you, as you know, business support one another. Like so if I sell my cows, maybe let's say for example I need to build a house. So the person who has hardware will get a lot of customers when maybe they sell like the cows or the cattle, or even wheat, because like you go to a certain area, there is a lot of wheat growing. So like during that time there is a lot of sales. So and also agrovets. So because they are supporting this industry, the whole ecosystem. So you are going to find a lot of agrovets supporting that. So that is what happens. But what you realize is, as the communities integrate, as you have said, they learn from one another. At the end of the day, so you also find some Kikuyus doing the pastoralism, like the herding the cows, and also the Maasai is doing the trading bit of it, because people exchange ideas and they learn from one another.
And I think it's a very good, important thing for an economy to thrive holistically. So how did you now then transition from employment, from being employed into now self-employment?
Okay, so what happened is, before I became a business consultant in the organization, I was doing some other jobs. So when I was employed, I was lucky, got employed, and then within 2 years, I think I'd been promoted. And I got a very good job, the role I was doing, and I stayed there for quite a while, and almost like 8 years, doing one role. So what happened is, when you're doing one role, you don't learn a lot. So when you're doing one role, you don't learn a lot. So at some point, I decided I will exit the organization, and I was like, when I exit the organization, what will I carry when I go outside?
Did you like desire when you were in there that once I leave this place, I want to go into self-employment?
So what happens is, change is always good. And every human being, if you stay in one place or you are doing something for a long time, there are some people by nature of their character, they will want to change.
Exactly.
So if you are doing something for a long time, they are like personally, you like, I am tired of this. Like, how can I change? So what happens is, you want to change. So that urge to change comes in you, and then you start wondering. So I will change. If I change from this to this, how am I going to transition? And it can't, change if you leave employment, let's say for example, overnight. That means your source of income dries up. Yeah, so you have to plan, like how do you go about it. So that is the reason now, when I was in that role, I had stayed for 8 years. When I asked myself, how can I transfer these skills?
Yeah.
Like, let's give you an example. If for a mason, they want, if a mason starts working, a young mason starts working under another older mason or an experienced mason, the fundi will learn as they go along. Yeah. After 3-4 years, after they have learned something, they are now going to go and establish their own fundi business. Yeah. Maybe constructing house on their own. So what happens is there are some skills, like in some organizations, it will be very hard to transfer them. So that is why I asked myself, which is a skill that I can transfer? Exactly. I can transfer to the outside. That is why I now shifted to the business consulting side. Okay. I shifted departments, because there was an opportunity. And I went, I learned. So because we could consult for small businesses, we could train businessmen and women. And I could see the feedback they were giving us, the success stories they were giving us, and they were very powerful. Fortunately, we were trained on how to do it. Okay. There is a program that is called Start and Improve Your Business. So we were trained, and with that, now we became trainers, training business people, consulting for them, business coaching, and all that. So that gave me a very good foundation on how to do things. And I also learned the ecosystem, how it works, because like if you have, the more knowledge you have, the better you're able to execute a certain idea.
Very, very true.
Yeah, so I learned where does the money come from in this ecosystem? Who funds these projects we are doing? How are they done? So you understand where the money is coming from. You also understand how to tap into that ecosystem. And even when you are doing that, you're also networking with people who are very key.
Very true.
In the
industries.
In the industry. Exactly. You also now start understanding like these are the people. So what I did is so I did that for quite a while, actually 4 years, almost 4 years, and that is when I realized there was also another gap, like because we were trained to be trainers. I realized even the people who train us, they are doing like business consulting. So they are doing both. They are training entrepreneurs, and also they are training other people to be trainers. So I realized I can now advance my course. So I invested in myself, and I did training where now I became a master trainer, and I can develop other people. So and after I did that training, I started marketing for the businesses, because now you can go and support a financial institution, let's say for example, how they can implement trainings to their customers. So I started investing in that. I invested in that. And I started even marketing to organizations. They can adopt the model where they can develop trainers in their own businesses. And I started seeing results. Wow. I started seeing people are very much interested. And I was like, this is a very good business opportunity. So what I'm saying is, the reason I'm saying I'm giving that story is it takes time.
It does take time, obviously.
It takes time because leaping from one place to the other.
It's not easy transitioning.
And you have to eat, you have to drink.
You have a family.
You have a family.
Maybe even a status to maintain.
Maybe even a status to maintain.
Imagine from we know bankers to have money accessible at all times.
Exactly.
So you can imagine to have part of Meparara in town, you're like, what's happening with this guy?
So it is. It takes a lot of time. And transitioning is not easy. And people don't see, like there are people, very many people who fail, like after the jump, or they struggle a lot. They do. After the jump. So, and I used to talk a lot to people who have transitioned from employment to maybe to self-employment. I used to talk a lot to them, and even those who failed, I used to ask them, how did you, what went wrong? And people would tell you some stories, and some would be very touching. And very sad, because they will tell you, once I left the job, my family, one of my family members got sick. And then during that period, they were like, I didn't have a medical cover or something.
Very, very true.
So that really pulled me back. And then you will ask somebody, why did you succeed? And they will tell you that I succeeded because maybe my partner had an income, which we used to support me during that period when I was transitioning. Some other people will tell you that the reason they succeeded is because they had saved maybe 6 months worth of expenses, or a year worth of money. expenses. So that person, whatever they were doing, because if you are starting something new, you are not sure if it is going to pick it up immediately. Yeah, it might pick after 6 months, it might pick after 3 months, after 1 year. Yeah, so they were cushioning themselves. Yeah,
it is true.
Yeah, so that so you can see different ways. So after and when you listen to these people, you realize the reason they have succeeded is because maybe they put these factors were there in place. So sometimes we copy other people what they are doing. Yeah, and also the other thing is the other person will tell you, I saw an opportunity. Maybe they invested themselves and did a certain course, and they got skills, and then they started doing that as a side job.
It is true.
And that side job eventually grew and became a main job. And,
bigger than now.
Yeah, bigger than that. Yeah.
And then the others who, mimi nilichoka na kwanza. And I jumped in.
Yeah, the others who just one day decide I'm going. Yeah, unaenda. And sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. Yeah. Of which either way, they are very either good lessons or painful lessons that people learn along the way.
I think my greatest lesson from now when I transition from employment into self-employment, one, I think I jumped. For me, I was tired of being in a cash office, and I needed to. My personality, I'm a very driven person, so I wanted to just go out and get money and business. But at some point, I had to go back into employment, and things became very tough. So whatever it is that you're talking about is very, very relatable. But it's not an easy walk for somebody who's not very, very sure that need to survive for a whole 6 months, 1 year without exactly knowing how I'm going to pay my bills. Now, my next question, what are the key pillars for somebody listening to us right now and you're thinking, I am tired of this job and I want to get into business?
So one is planning. Planning is very key. Yeah? Like, so after you transition, so what will you do? How are you going to do it?
Exactly.
Yeah, like have a plan, have a big goal, have a vision. That is written down step by step how you're going to implement your goal. The other thing is support system. Yeah, having a good support system is very important. So be it a spouse, like you tell them this is what I'm planning to do, support me. Because it is going to be maybe things can work out immediately. It might take a while to work out. So if you have somebody who is going to give you the emotional support, that would be good. The other thing is the financial bit of it, like how finance are you stable? Do you have a financial stability, or have you saved some money that can help you transition? Then also trying things when we are working, because when you are working, you have that stability. That means you can start trying some side things.
It is true.
Yeah, like a business, you try, even if it fails, that means you learn something, so that when you start another one, you can now utilize those skills.
But you see, there are some people who have no time. I think the reason why I decided to take the jump is in a cash office, you know, balancing my sabu. All I would do after work is go to a supermarket, take a packet of milk and maybe head home. Because you're too tired. So you can imagine a banker in a very busy teller. What do they do after 5?
And nothing.
Like
you're tired. You just go and sleep.
You
just go and sleep. So in that case, now that was the case for me.
That was
that literally described the case for me. So I asked myself, like in this organization, because even in banks there are some departments where you can transition into, which has skills that you can transfer to the outside.
Exactly.
So like I did, like you go to a department that you start doing like business consulting, and you know once you leave, you can literally utilize those skills outside. So that is one way. The other way is like investing in yourself, doing some courses that you know you can do, like a career change, and you move in a space where you are not so tight. So invest yourself maybe in a course that can help you jump. But I know some people have jumped ship, like literally, and then they go and figure it out, which is a very tough way of doing. But either way, and then once you figure out what you want to do, you can now be able to start seeking opportunities in that area that you want to do. Yeah. So let's say, for example, business consulting, you start asking yourself, which areas can I be able to tap into? Which are the opportunities that are there? So what happens is, there is an example that I usually see that says, like if I ask you, how many red cars have you seen today?
Very few.
Very few, yeah? But what if I told you, for every red car that you see, I'm going to give you 1,000? How many red cars do you think
I will look for them. That's the footer.
You look for them, yeah? And at the end of the day, maybe you have seen 30 or 50 cars,
Yeah,
yeah?
true.
Yeah, so you'll have 50,000. So that means opportunity sometimes, it is there.
It's only that we don't.
But because you are not seeking for it or looking after for it, you can't see it. Yeah. So the moment you are told that for every red car you're going to see, you're going to get 1,000. That means you will seek actively. You will actively seek for that opportunity.
True.
Yeah. So that is what happens with opportunity. So, and I have realized that as a business person, when you go into the market, you seek for opportunities with the skills that you have. With the background that you have, you actively seek for those opportunities.
Actually, I'm reading a book in it was the Lean Startup by a guy, an American guy. And
it's called Eric.
The one I read something and he says that entrepreneurs are everywhere.
Yeah.
But even our camera crew, they are entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
It's only that maybe they have not. Hawajafika mahali wanasema na I'm quitting self-employment into self-employment because this guy right here with the camera could be a future studio owner with cameras for hire. It's only that the mind labda, either the season has not come or the time for them has not come to decide. So what if I leave this station? What do I do after this? Entrepreneurs are actually...
Yeah, that's very true, and I agree with you. And experiences are very important.
Very, very important.
So, like that person, like for them, they are doing they are doing the job they are doing right now, yeah, and they will meet with a lot of people.
Very, very true.
So that is networking. They will create a network of people who they can work with when they leave.
Exactly.
Secondly, they are doing they are adding some skills. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there are some skills they are adding up to, yeah. So, and maybe they are doing different things. They are doing photography, they are doing videography, they are marketing. So that means at the end of the day, when this person decides to start something, they have some skill set that gives them an edge.
Exactly.
That gives them an edge.
Yeah.
And that is one of the things that that is one of the weaknesses I had, because as I told you, there is a role I stayed for a long time.
8 years.
So when you stay for a role, for one role for a long time, that means you are not adding your skill set.
Exactly.
But if you have you are doing several roles, you can add these skill sets, and those skill sets are going to help you in future. Yeah, when you now start venturing into something. So employment is very good, and it also builds discipline. Like when you're employed, it builds discipline. Like for me now, I'm a very good timekeeper. Yeah, because you are taught to respect people's time. So it builds something in you. Like employment is very good.
It's a very necessary
step
that one must take. Or most people find very beneficial to take, because not everybody has some money, or not everybody even sees an opportunity. You are in that position, you are training people, and you thought, this is something I can actually do when I'm outside. You see? Because the gap and the need in the market is already there.
So it is a very good step. And sometimes people they are entrepreneurship and employment, they are the two sides of the same coin. So you realize like even for finances, capital, you want to start something, you can get capital from employment.
Exactly.
So you want to start something, you can work for 1, 2, 3 years and get that capital, and then you can transition by using that capital as maybe capital for your venture. The same case with the networks. You are going to meet a lot of people in that industry where you are working. So you create a lot of networks, actively seeking those networks. Then the skill set that we are talking about. So you are going to gain a lot of skills when you are actively working. And you gain a lot of different skills.
Wow. Now, those are some of the key pillars that one can use to support themselves in transitioning. But there are also challenges along the way. You know that people naacha jobo and I want now to be my own boss. What are some of the challenges that most people face?
So some of the challenges is there are some things that are in your control and there are some things that are beyond your control. So like economy, yeah? Sometimes like the economy sometimes can dip. You go into a recession and you know businesses generally don't do well when there is a recession. Yeah, so you realize that that time that you have moved out, that is when the business is very hard to do. Yeah, so that is something that is not within your control. Yeah, there are some things that are also maybe you don't have the skill set, because even running a business you require some certain skill set.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you realize that you didn't plan very well, or you didn't have some skill set to enable you maybe run your business. So you realize that you are required some certain skill set, and you did some mistakes, and you end up maybe losing the money. You end up maybe getting into a lot of debt. Yeah, so that means that that was a weakness that you had. Yeah, so that one, but that one at least can be covered maybe through training. Can be covered maybe having partnerships that have this skill set. Yeah, so those are some of the two things that I would highlight that are some of the weaknesses that can make you not succeed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now there are those others that are unfortunate enough. I was reading a post from a lady friend of mine on Facebook. The economy is badly beaten, like really, really badly beaten. So there were massive layoffs in her place of work. Actually, she's job hunting. So for somebody who has now been forced into, they find themselves in a crossroad. Do I look for a job? Do I begin a biashara na nimefutwa kazi? What would you tell somebody like that? Somebody hakutaka, they didn't even probably even see it coming, but they suddenly do not have an income.
Okay, that is a very sad situation to find yourself in, because there is something that really happens even inside ourselves.
Psychologically. Imagine.
Even psychologically.
Suddenly been told from February, kuna kazi. What do you do? So you are not even prepared for that.
So psychologically, you are going to get affected when you lose a job suddenly, or even when you're fired. So when you're fired, inside yourself there is something that is going to shift.
Exactly.
So one of the things that I would advise such a person is not be affected, like to try as much as possible to find for a support system that is going to help them not be affected by that, because that can affect you and it can take you even 6 months, 1 year to recover. And within that 1 year, before now you even start thinking of what to do, it might take you a long time.
And this is when people know who their true friends are.
This is when you know. This is when you know when your true friend is. So for such a person, if they have a good support system, it will be very easy for them, because if they have a support system, maybe a partner, a spouse, or maybe a friend who can help them, that would be the best thing. And one of the ways in which you can get, if you can seek for employment, like sending those applications to people who keep doing it without losing hope. That is one way. Then the other way is partnerships. Like you can go to somebody who is doing something, even if they will not give you the full pay, but they can help you sustain you. Let's say, for example, I'm talking about thinking outside the box. Maybe like for you, you are doing your enterprise. You need somebody who to support you, maybe with social media marketing. That is a skill that somebody can learn within a short time and support another person and tell them, we are going to see the impact that I'm going to make. Can you maybe give me maybe a stipend?
And I think when we talk about a scenario such as this, I'm sure maybe you've read something that says nowadays skills are more marketable than even a degree. You know, if I get somebody who can run my social media pages, I'm still a small organization. But if I have somebody to help me with that, and even if they don't have a degree, maybe my current need right now is come and run my Dhahabu Deco page. And I think in this era that we are in, you can imagine a company has laid off people. There are no jobs. So where does this person who is a graduate go get another job?
So one of the things that really messes up with us is fixing ourselves. Like because I am a CPA, I must do CPA.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm a graduate, I must do 1, 2, 3.
I must be paid a certain amount.
I must be paid a certain amount of money. Yeah. So that can really limit the opportunities that are available to us. But if we can expand the scope of work that we can do, that means the opportunities become more and more. And what I've realized is that you can start doing something, and then you realize the opportunities therein are so many. Because as we are saying, like you are saying, you are doing social media marketing, but you are a small company. If I can come to you and do it successfully, and I bring impact, that means I can go to another bigger company.
Imagine.
That can also pay me higher amount.
Or even have like accounts of like several,
exactly.
They're small companies. Because the challenge with running a business, like now me with my Dhahabu Decor Limited company, I am here chasing either the client, I'm either finalizing their products, and I have a social media presence that I need to keep on building every day. So sazingine balancing that time becomes
becomes very hard. So if you have you have mentioned it very well. So let's say, for example, you are running 10 companies, social media accounts.
And that's your full-time job.
That is your full-time job. So even if you charge them 5,000, that means you have 50,000 per month.
Imagine.
If you have if you charge them 10K, that means you have 100,000. So it depends with how you see the opportunities. So if you can be able to see the opportunities, you can be able to tap into them. And going back to that question that you have asked, what do you do? So we have said, number one, don't be affected psychologically. That is the reason for people who plan to exit, it is easier for them because they know it is me who decided to jump. And as in Swahili they say, so you must work hard. Like from day one, you must work very hard to succeed. But the other person, maybe they were sacked, maybe they were laid off. They have that oishe, like, oh, what really happened, So they have self-pity party they are going through, so they might not pick up immediately, But if they can be able to get a person to support them, and they are not necessarily even with money, but even emotionally and psychologically, that person can start something that can bloom. And even you have seen people say that this being laid off was the best thing that happened to me.
But it is true.
Because it
actually opens them up, and they're like, wow. There's a lady who's been calling me, who's called me 2 times, and she's telling me, I want you to teach me how to do decor. They were actually given a number by a close mentor of mine. And she was telling me, I don't even want to go to campus. I want to learn these things on the ground, as in qua ground. She's in Nairobi, I'm in Nakuru. She was telling me, if you have any errand in Nairobi that you would want to do related to decor, please send me so that I learn on the job. Again, the attitude after you find yourself in that situation also determines how far you're able to or how best you maneuver a situation such as that.
That's very true. The attitude is very
because
key.
It's unfortunate that you get fired. You know, you didn't see it coming. But what if the company cannot afford to pay you anymore? What do they do?
And unfortunately, that is a model that we are going into, like the model of the gig economy, where you have individuals running small businesses, offering to companies or even to other or to other individuals.
That is the future of like that's how work is going to.
That is how work is happening. Because, like say for example, and we just use the same case of social media. So a big company, they have a person they have employed full time for the social media job. What happens is they realize we are paying this person maybe 50,000 per month. But they also realize they can go for another person. They are going to pay 20,000 as a consultant out there. As a consultant out there, so they would rather go for that person
20K
reduce cost. They reduce
cost
because the lazima maybe they were na hizo social media pages. So they don't have necessarily this person coming to the office, having a desk, using electricity, using internet. They put that cost, they reduce all that the expenses, and then they employ somebody who stays wherever they stay, maybe at their home, and they are doing this for them. So that is a model, and that is why you see many companies nowadays because of technology. So it is a transition stage that we are in.
From traditional forms of employment
to
remote work.
To remote work.
People are doing work for companies in Europe, the US, and they are based here in Kenya.
So it's something that is happening, and we need to be aware of that, so that even it is affecting us. The other thing I wanted to tell you is another opportunity I've seen is where people like butter trade. So you require social media marketing. I require curtains. So I've seen that. So somebody will tell you, I will do this for you, and you do this for me. So I saw somebody like there is a guy I saw. He's an accountant. So he was the landlord, where his landlord, he told him that I'll be doing your accounts for you for free, in exchange for rent.
Oh my goodness.
Did
it work out?
It was working out. Wow. So he was telling him that I stay here, and I know you have these apartments. So I know you have an accountant. So can we work it out such that I do the accounts for you, and also I stay here for free in exchange for that. And it works. So what I'm saying is,
and you see, now look at that element of like, this is a courageous man. They are willing to take a risk. And the risk was, let me go and ask the landlord if this is possible. But there are so many people who are in places where they can actually be very great entrepreneurs, but the fear of like, can you do my accounts, and then I supply suits for you. You're dressed in suits. So maybe do my company accounts, I have a boutique, I'll sell suits for you at a discounted rate. People are not able to actually step out and seek out some of these opportunities, and especially when they see them. That was good. Wow.
So we are saying is you can think around the skills you have. You can think around the skills and how you can support the other person to be able to give you value. It is an exchange of value, because it doesn't have to be money. It can be it is like an exchange of value.
Wow. Now as we near winding up, so there's a course, SIYB. Tell us what that is about and how it can help somebody transitioning from now employment into self-employment. So briefly explain what it is. So
SIYB, or Start and Improve Your Business, is a course.
Start and
Improve Your Business is a course that supports entrepreneurs, MSMEs in their businesses, either to start businesses or to improve businesses. So that is actually what I did. When I started the business consulting. So this course, you become a trainer. So it is first of all, it's a NILO, International Labour Organization program, a globally recognized program. So we certify people to become trainers. So once you become a trainer, now you can go and implement that course, either as an individual, you go train other business people, matters marketing, matters costing, matters how to manage the employees, how to start a business, how to generate business ideas. It's a whole package. Once you understand that, now once you are certified, now you can go and implement that course. Even organizations like financial institutions, NGOs, circles, they use, even banks, they use this course to train their members. So yes, they train their staff, and their staff use that course to go and train their members, because you realize if a bank has given loans, they require.
They need the people getting the loans to be trained on financial.
So they want the people they are giving loans, they be trained on financial literacy. So when they are trained on the financial literacy, they are able now to pay back their loans better. They train them on how to do business. They empower them. So when they give them loans and they have empowered them, let's say for example, with how to do marketing, how to do costing, that means the businesses are going to be sustainable. And once they are sustainable, they are going to pay their loans better. So even for individuals, they can go and train maybe in those financial institutions, or maybe like companies. They want to train companies, maybe how to do customer care, how to do marketing. So even individual consultants do that.
Wow. So I've seen on your social media pages you have an event coming up.
So we have an event coming up from 4th of March to 8th of March, where we'll be having a 5-day training, equipping people to become better entrepreneurs. better trainers.
Okay.
We also give them a globally recognized curriculum where now they can use that curriculum to train other people. Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, you become a better trainer, and also you network with other people in this space, maybe in the financial institutions, maybe in the non-governmental organization spheres, and they're able to train. Yeah.
So where is this happening? Online?
So it is happening physically. So we'll have the 5 days is happening physically.
Okay.
So what you are going to get is you're going to get materials that you are going to use for training. So it is a full day training from morning to evening. Yeah.
Where is that happening?
So we'll do at the library. We have an American Spaces, a hall that is there, and all that.
Nakuru, Nairobi?
Yeah, here in Nakuru. Yeah, in Nakuru. And after that, we are going now to certify those people. Yeah, people can reach out to us in our social medias, Gold Plus Advisory, for more information.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you'll share the flyer with me so that I circulate it on the Hustles ZETU Facebook page.
Thank you.
So that we are able to at least attract people, and people could be looking for opportunities with the layoffs that are happening. You never know who could be the next trainer. It could be you who's watching us, and I hope that you have learned something. So there's something happening in the month of March by Gold Plus Advisory is going to be training trainers of trainers. Trainers of trainers.
Yeah, trainer of trainers.
TOT, so
TOT, yeah.
So it's going to be training trainers of trainers. If you're interested in a space such as this where you become a trainer of trainers and make money on the side or even upskill your skill set, this is an opportunity that you need not miss out. So thank you once again for watching. My name is Eunice Derry. This is Hustles ZETU. Remember, we are at the Vicmark Hotel, the cradle of comfort, right here in Nakuru City. Kwaheri.
Mamlaka Television, impacting generations.